Hey guys, welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray. Thank you for joining me in the garden today as we pot up some new dahlia tubers. All right, guys, that's right. We are potting up some dahlia tubers today, or dahlia tubers, however you say that name. I say dahlia here in Central Arkansas in the South. But I have ordered 4 new varieties of dahlias from Holland Bulb Farm. And so I was going to walk through this process with you guys for a quick video. So first off, I'm going to show you the 4 varieties I got. I'll show you the bag, tell you the name, and then I'll flash a picture on the screen if I can find the picture. Hopefully they're still available on the website. This variety is Jan van Schaeffler, and I think I'm pronouncing that correct. But there's the information on that if you can see that. And this bag has 3 tubers in it. So all 4 varieties come with 3 tubers. So I've got that variety. All right, next up we have Extase. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but there's the information from that one. The third variety I ordered is Whittam. And the 4th variety that I ordered is La Luna. So those are the 4 varieties of dahlias that I picked up this year in the garden. Hopefully they will perform well and add a good color and interest into the garden this year. Now, dahlias are something that if you want to wait until it warms up outside fully, you can plant the tubers directly into the ground. I like to pre-pot up my dahlias. Super simple process. I'm just taking recycled plastic nursery containers. I'm gonna fill them a little ways with soil, put a dahlia tuber in there, and backfill around that tuber, leaving the eye of the tuber right at the surface of the soil, slightly covered but not buried deep. And I'll walk you through that here in a second. So all I'm gonna need for this project are my tubers, some potting soil, my containers, and I have added a little bit of garden tone into my soil. I am out of biotone at the moment, but garden tone is enriched with biotone, so it'll give me the same effect as biotone. It'll get that energy into that soil that these tubers are going to need to form their roots, and then the rest of the nutrients in there will give the plants a good boost. So I have already mixed that into my potting soil. So now then, I'm just going to reposition the camera, and we're going to get these tubers separated and put into the pots. Here we go. All right, so I've got you positioned where you can see what I'm doing here. And it is a pretty windy afternoon, so if you're picking up a lot of background noise, I do apologize. So all we're going to do first is we're going to get a nice layer of soil into these 3 containers. Okay. Now then I'm going to cut open my dahlia bag. Now, when you order from Holland Bulb Farms, that's one I like how they package. This package is not solid. It is perforated to allow for ventilation, but all of your tubers are in this sealed bag, clearly labeled, so that you can keep track of your varieties. The other thing that I've already also done is I wrote the variety name on the outside of my container so that I can keep track once they're in the pots. So this is a dahlia tuber cluster. So you need 3 things with a dahlia. You need the bulb, the neck, and the eye. Let me get in there where you can see that eye, okay? So if you get a piece of a tuber that's missing any part of those 3, it is no good. In order to be a viable plant, everything that you plant must have all 3 components: the bulb, the neck, and the eye. Now planting it is super simple. We're just going to nestle it right down into our soil there, which you can see. And you can see I've left that stem right near the top. And then I'm just gonna work dirt in around that. Now this may take a little bit of shaking and finesse to get dirt really up into the crevices of that bulb. So just take your time and work that dirt in there. And then give it a nice little tap. And that's all there is to it. Now I'll water this in and wait for growth. But I've got more to do. So let's do that process again. So here you go. You can see this is a nice big clump. Lots of eyes right there, necks and tubers. So we're just gonna get that planted right into this container. So this package actually came with 2 more that I can use. So if you look here, at first glance, this may look like it would not be viable, but it does have a small neck. It definitely has a tuber. And if you look right there, you can see a growth tip forming. So this one tuber is plantable. And then here is another small cluster here that definitely has tubers and necks. I don't see any growth points on this yet. Oh, yep, there it is right there. There's a little growth point right in there. It's very hard to see. So I've got 2 extras that I can now plant in addition to the 3 that I was supposed to get. So that is all there is to this process. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing that overhead shot so you could actually see into the pots and see what was going into planting of those tubers. I won't bore you with making you sit there and watch me plant every single tuber that comes out of those bags. The process is the exact same for every variety. If you're gonna order something like this, and it doesn't have to be a dahlia, it can be anything. If you're gonna order from that, the same tips and tricks are gonna apply. You know, make sure you're labeling your containers or putting a label stake in there because we all think we're gonna remember what's going on. But if you're getting multiple varieties of things, in a week's time, you are not gonna remember which varieties were in which pot. So make sure you're labeling, make sure you're putting some nutrients, some biotone, something to boost that. Again, it's not necessary, but I strongly recommend it. Give your plants a good jump start into their lives. You've spent money on these things. You've ordered them. You've waited for them to come in the mail. You've got an investment in them already. Go ahead and continue the journey and give them another boost to help them be strong and successful in your gardens. So like I said, I did order all these from Holland Bulb Farms. They may have some left. If you're interested, it is not too late. And again, you do not have to pre-pot these up. You can just wait and plant them right in the ground where you want them to be. The benefit of pre-potting them, like that one tuber that I showed you at the end where it was very hard for me to see if there was a growth eye on that, there's a chance that that growth eye may not sprout. It may not do anything. That may be a dead clump. if that's the case, I know that going into it, so I don't put that into my garden and reserve a space for something that's never going to grow. When you are doing perennial borders and flower gardens, every space is valuable, and you don't want to waste time putting something in that's never going to grow, that you're then going to have to figure out what to put in that spot. So by pre-potting these, I'm getting a jump start on their growing season, and I'm going to be able to actually see which plants grow, and I can actually then put those plants into their spot. So that's the benefit of putting things into containers first, pre-potting them up, letting them get some growth on them, and then putting them out into the garden. And the other good news is that while we don't have any freezing temps on the forecast, that could change. It is not uncommon for a late spring frost to occur. If I have these in the ground and a late spring frost occurs, I'm not going to be able to, I mean, I guess I could try to dig them up, but that's not going to be very practical. If I have them in containers, they've already started growing, they're already doing good. If a late spring frost happens to pop up, I just gather up my containers, throw them in the garage or the potting shed, and I'm good to go. So, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this quick video. Thank you for joining me today as I'm working on my dahlias for the 2023 gardening season. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I sure would appreciate that. And if you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. You can leave those down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I sure would love for you to do that. Come along. You never know what we're going to get up to around here at the Horticulture Geek Gardens. But until next time, guys, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.